Guten Tag and welcome back everybody to finally another mod spotlight for modded Minecraft 1.10, in which we will cover today Advanced Rocketry. And you guessed it, it is all about rockets. So get right to it. In this first part of the series, I wanted to cover asteroid mining, which is one of the things you can actually do with Advanced Rocketry. The other things you can do is building space stations and visit different planets. That is the other big part. There is also a part for energy production, but we will cover that maybe later as we advance through this mod spotlights. So the first thing you want to do is build, I suggest, 3 of these arc furnaces, electrical arc furnaces. For one, you need them to produce steel. You put iron and charcoal in it and you get steel on the other side. Other mods, for example, immersive engineering that also produces steel, can be used for this sake as well. The other thing you want to produce is titanium from rutile ore. Rutile ore you will find in your world because it is generated there, and you put this just inside and it will smelt down to titanium ingots fairly quickly. The third part you want to do is doing sand and making silicon ingots out of it. These are the 3 first parts you really want to get early into, because they sometimes took a long time, especially when it comes to the silicon and the steel. They take a long time, so start early to be prepared. Next up, you want to craft a few machines that you need for additional resources. For example, like this here, the rolling machine, you use for producing plates. The lathe for producing rods, the crystallizer for producing silicon boule, the cutting machine to produce silicon wafers from the silicon boule, the precision assembler to produce all sorts of circuits. Also, relatively early on, you should produce, or you should start producing rocket fuel by electrolyzing water. We feed just water into the tank here and electrolyze it into hydrogen and oxygen and feed that into the chemical reactor, and out of both components we make rocket fuel, which we need to power our rockets. To actually build all these multi-block structures, the mod comes with an amazing little tool, which is the holo projector. When you have the holo projector in your hand and you shift right click, you open a little menu in which you can choose the machine that you want to build. Let's say we want to build a lathe, select it, and then right click in the world with it, and a little holographic structure will appear. By shift mouse wheeling through the different layers, you can see the whole structure that you want to build. When you have the correct blocks in your inventory, which I don't have right now, you can just middle click it. I get it because I play in creative, and place the block wherever it belongs. That way you don't need to keep track on where the stuff is in your hotbar. Once every block is placed, just right click the main block and the multi-block structure will be created. This feature works even for the tallest buildings, for example, like here the arc furnace. Once you have finally prepared all the beginning steps, you are ready to build your first satellite. The reasoning behind this is that when you send rockets to space, the rocket actually must know where to go. And for our first missions, this is how to find an asteroid that is worth mining. To do that, we send satellites to space that will actually find an asteroid and try to determine if it is worth mining or not. For that purpose, we can outfit our satellite with 3 different sorts of sensors. We have the optical sensor, the composition sensor, and the mass detector, from which the mass detector needs dilithium to build, and dilithium is mainly found on outer worlds, but rarely can be found on your home world. To build a satellite, you will just place the optical sensor you want to have, a few data storage units, and a satellite ID chip, an empty one of course, an empty satellite ID chip, like this, and build the satellite. You don't want to bother with eventual solar panels right now, because that is currently not needed, or at least not for the mining satellites. For the next step, you want to build yourself a rocket launch platform. For this purpose, you have to craft these launch pads. They are fairly easy to make, and place it in at least 3x3 grid. It can be fairly bigger. That will be shown in later videos when we talk about space stations. When you build the structure tower, remember that the lowest block of the structure tower has to be on the same level as your launch pad. Then you need a rocket assembling machine, which needs to be one block higher than the launch pad. You want to also build a fueling station to fuel your rocket, and a rocket monitoring station to monitor and launch your rocket. The rocket assembling machine and the fueling station are needing some sort of energy, therefore I placed an energy cell down there. Then you actually go over and build a rocket. This is the smallest viable build for a rocket that I figured out for the purpose of sending satellites to space. 2 thrusters, 6 liquid fuel tanks, and a satellite bay. Inside your satellite bay, you want to place your satellite that we just made. Go into your rocket assembling machine, where you can actually scan the rocket if it is viable. And if it is viable, shown by a clear for lift off right here, you can build it. This is now a rocket, a multi-block structure, and not any longer the single blocks. Once that is done, you want to take your linker and link your fueling station and your rocket monitoring station to the rocket by shift right click on the fueling station and then on the rocket, and on the rocket monitoring station and then on the rocket. Once this is done, you can watch inside the rocket monitoring station how the rocket is actually fueled up. Inside here in the fueling station is just rocket fuel from the production facility over there. You can also pump it in through any means of fluid pipes. Once that is done and the fuel is topped up, we can actually launch the rocket and it will shoot our satellite into space. From the satellite builder, you want to pick up the programmed satellite ID chip, which is basically some sort of GPS chip to track the satellite in space and to receive data from it. You can see in the tooltip of the actual satellite ID chip, it is a optical telescope, so we will receive optical information from it. When you place this then in a satellite terminal like this one, you can see here this one is for a composition scanner. This is for an optical telescope. Place a satellite ID chip right here. We can do this with this chip as well. Whoop. There you see, optical telescope. We can connect it and it will start collecting information. And you can see it will collect distance information. I recommend having actually multiple satellites per data type because the information flow is fairly slow. In this case, we have 2 composition scanners, 2 optical telescopes, and 2 mass scanners. The data which these satellite terminals provide gets fed into the astrobody data processor. When we look into that, you can see here's already a lot of information piled up, 2000 of each of the 3 needed kinds. Then we have here unprogrammed Asteroid chips, which gets programmed like this here. I prepared already a few, you can see here. Every time one of those gets written, it is a random asteroid that gets created, so to speak, or found inside space. When we pick it out and place this here and activate research, the information that we collected from the satellites will get researched and written onto the asteroid chip. Once this chip reaches 2000 in all of the three kinds of data, the asteroid or the rocket for the asteroid mining mission is ready to launch. A word about data flow. You have two different options to bring the data from the satellite terminal to the astrobody data processor. The easy and manual method is to craft data storage units, place them inside here, write the data onto the ship, take it out, bring it over to the astrobody processor, bring it into the according row here, and store to buffer. That is a tedious and long work, and you don't want to do that. The other way around that is connecting data cables to the back of the satellite terminals and connect them to the back of the astrobody data processor. The downside is that you have to give it a redstone signal where this thing connects to get this cable active. Therefore, I placed this ugly wall on the back with turned on levers. While the research is happening, we will actually try to build a rocket for the asteroid mining mission. This time I will go with more thrusters because this will make the rocket faster. Also more fuel, we will need it. And then we will place drills. Where are the drills? There are the drills. We will place drills on it, like this. This time we also need a guidance computer, like this. And we need chests to bring back the loot from the mining mission. No, actually I want to place more mining drills here. The more drills you place, the faster the mission will mine. And then I will place the chests over here. Keep in mind that the biggest you can build the rocket is the same size as the launch pad. So if you want to build bigger rockets with bigger drill heads, you need to make the launch pad bigger. The same size at least as the rocket itself. The same goes for the height. If you want to build higher rockets, you need a higher structure tower. The structure tower must at least be as high as the rocket you want to build. So let's scan it and see if it is viable. Yes, it is actually viable. Good, we can build it right away. And now the rocket is theoretically ready to launch. We will link again the fueling station and the monitoring station. We can see now the rocket is actually fueled up. What is left to do is place the actual destination inside the guidance computer. Therefore, we can shift right click on the rocket, choose guidance computer, and then we have this here open where we can actually place the information on the asteroid chip that gets researched in here. When the research is completed and all three data types in the asteroid chips reached 2000, you can put the data chip out and place the next one inside so the research can continue. Then you have to put per shift right click, choose the guidance computer and put the asteroid chip inside the guidance computer. Now the rocket knows where to go. The rocket is fueled up, just launch it. And all you have to do now is wait for its return. And after a while, the rocket returns with your loot. Shift right click on the rocket again and you can access the chests via the squares here. And it is clear we didn't bring enough chests. 4 chests are filled to the rim. You can also use a rocket unloader, just link the unloader with the actual rocket and that way you can transfer all the items directly into your storage system. And the rocket unloader doesn't even have to be near the actual rocket. That covers it for the first part of the mod spotlight for Advanced Rocketry, and in the next part we will actually go to space ourselves. Until then, take care of yourself guys, and rock on!